What's up, traders? It's Matt with Conservative Trades, and today I am coming at you with another episode of The Trader's Mind. And today we are going to talk about the psychology of building a small account. I think this is something that really needs to be discussed, and for several reasons. First of all, we've all seen the day traders out there, the big time day traders out there, proving that you can turn a little bit of money into a lot of money with day trading. And it's true. You can turn a little bit of money into a lot of money day trading. But I think there's a lot that gets lost in translation with how they demonstrate this to their viewers. Now, listen, I'm not knocking these day trading gurus out there. When I say day trading gurus, I don't mean to say that as a slanderous way or as in a demeaning way. I have a lot of respect for a lot of the day trading YouTubers or day trading gurus, whatever you want to call them out there. I think there are some very good, solid, high profile professional traders that know very much about what they're doing. And I think, yeah, they're selling their courses. They're making good money doing it. I don't think that's wrong. I think that a lot of these guys have great information to give. I know a lot of people out there, put them down or say, oh, they're not real traders. They're just trading with fake accounts. Listen, anybody who knows anything about day trading, on nearly every broker platform out there, there are very definite ways to be able to determine whether they're using a demo account or real money. And the vast majority of them, now there are scammers out there, okay? I'm not saying there's not, but the vast majority of them they're legit. They're legit. And I've checked out a lot of these guys and they are legit. So I'm not knocking them, but I think that a lot of these guys who have been day trading for 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years, they've got it down to a science. It's like drinking water to them. They've been doing it for so long and they do it so well and they've made so much money with it that when they set up these presentations of how to build a small account, I think I think they've lost a little bit of perspective on what it's like to be the average Joe type of trader like you or me. People who don't have these huge accounts. For example, when they take $500, when somebody like, let's just say Ross Cameron, we'll just use him as an example. He's probably one of the most popular traders out there. And listen, Ross Cameron's legit. He's legit and he's an excellent trader. Okay, I'm not knocking him. But when Ross Cameron says that, I'm gonna build a small account with $500, well, you have to understand, and mind you, he's saying like, I'm gonna prove to you, all my viewers, that it can be done. What he's telling you is not untrue. He's definitely right when he's saying that you can build a small account. You can take $500. You can fund an offshore broker account with Capital Markets Elite Group. They're based out of Trinidad and Tobago, and you can get, even with $500, they'll give you 4 times buying power with that. So really, it's like trading with $2,000. So what Ross Cameron's telling you, it's not untrue, but him building up $500 is going to be different from the average Joe like you or me building up a $500 account. And what do I mean by that? Well, when Ross Cameron throws $500 into an account, first of all, he's coming into it with a full-blown confidence of a proven track record, and he's been doing this for years and years and years. He's a seasoned veteran trader. Okay, he has a skill that he has highly developed. So it kind of takes out of the equation the fact that people like you or me, who have maybe only been trading for a few years or a couple years, some of you are just now getting into trading. Some of you haven't even gotten into it yet. And the thing is you have to factor that equation, and you have to factor in that somebody who's just coming into the markets, even if you've educated yourself, even if you've spent several months in a trading simulator, when you first approach the market and you start trading with real money, it's going to be different. It's going to be different for you than it would be for somebody who has been doing this for years and years and years and years and years. Okay, so that's one thing that's not being really factored into the equation. Another thing that's not being factored into the equation is going back to that $500. The $500 means something completely different to you than what it means to somebody like Ross Cameron. Ross Cameron goes in and he messes up, then he can just refund that account. Oh well, $500 lost, whatever, and he wouldn't lose the whole 500. If he that first day of trading, he comes in and he ends up getting faked out on a trade or something, and it drops down, crashes, and he loses like $200. Oh, well, he'll just refund the account the next day with another $200, and he'll get started again. I mean, even if he goes through a bad week, and I've seen Ross Cameron and some of these other day traders out there, I've seen them have bad weeks and even some bad months. But say he just so happened to start that small account challenge during one of those weeks where the market was just wonky and he just wasn't getting any of the right setups, and like he could crash that $500. He could crash into that 5 days in a row, and come the next week he's still going to refund it with another $500. It's nothing to him. But see, there's a lot of guys out there that are getting started with this, and yes, we all know that the number one rule of thumb is never trade with more than what you're willing to lose. Okay, but still, yet, if you go out there and you work a little side hustle and you build up that $500, or let's even just say you're trying to add cushion to it, so you're starting with $1,000. Yeah, even though that came from a side hustle, and even though it's not like you went and took out a loan for it, or whatever, you didn't borrow it. It's even though, yes, that's money that you could afford to lose. Like, you still don't want to lose it. And there's a different mentality to it. So that first day that you come in the market and you're trading for the very first time with real money, and you're a much newer trader, it's not like you've been doing this for the last 10 years. It's not going to be the same story. Just mentally, psychologically, there's a whole different type of psychological pattern that comes with that and that type of trading. You're not going to want to lose that $1,000. Even though, yes, you can afford to lose it, you're not going to want to, because you're coming in there to build it up. And so the other thing is when you watch some of these big day trading gurus, and I don't mean to pick on Ross Cameron. Again, listen, I have nothing bad to say about Ross Cameron. I know there's a lot of people out there that think he's sketchy and he's just probably a scammer. Look, Ross Cameron's legit. From every single thing that I've seen, he's legit. He's very, very good at what he does. I'm not knocking the guy, but what I'm saying is I think that there are just some holes. There are some gaps in a lot of the logic of building a small account. When he does that before his viewers, I think there's just some gaps that need to be filled in. And I think there's a more realistic expectation that needs to be had by people who are watching that sort of thing. Because here's the thing, like, whether we all want to admit it or not, we all watch those big time day traders out there. Ross Cameron's not the only one. There's tons of them. We can start naming them off left and right. You got Clay Trader, you got Tim Sykes, Stephen Ducks, you got Andrew Aziz from Bear Bull Trader, somebody who I highly respect. You've got a lot of big time traders out there. And I'm not saying all of these guys do the small account challenge, but there are a lot of big time day traders out there that do small account challenges. But I just don't think that they're giving their viewers realistic expectations. And so what happens is a lot of these viewers, a lot of the average Joes like you or me, we watch this and we say, wow, man, like he just took $500 and made $200 in his first day. He literally just boosted his account by 40% in the first day. And then by like the next week, it's up to like $2,000. He's literally increased it hundreds of percent. So, again, we get into it and then we start shooting for the moon like that. And then we realize all of the many wacky and wonky things that come in, with day trading with real money in a live broker account. And we start to slowly realize, okay, this is a little bit harder than I thought it was going to be. Okay. And so when you start shooting for the fence on stuff like that, and then it goes, in the other direction for you, you jump in with huge share size because you want to be that next day trading rock star. You want to be the guy who took $500 and turned it into 60 grand in 2 months. Okay. And instead of just approaching it with a very realistic mentality, approaching it with a much more disciplined mindset, with the type of real patience that you need to build and to slowly grow a really legitimate day trading business. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, this is what you're doing. You're building a business. You're building a business here. Okay. And especially this is a business, again, it's not like you've been in this industry for the last 10, 15 years. It's not like you have all this experience. Like you are coming into this fresh. You've been in this maybe a few months, maybe even just a couple years, and you're just now starting to get your bearings with this. But you need to realize that you are in this to slowly grow an account, to build an account that can actually begin to make you money, pretty solid income on a daily to weekly basis. Okay. And so what I have done is I have drawn up what I feel like is a legitimate, realistic approach to building a small account. And it takes into consideration all of the different ways that we think and how the market can mentally affect us on the day to day. It kind of just draws in a much clearer, cleaner perspective of what we're actually trying to do here and how it can actually be done using a conservative trading strategy, using a small account, not feeling like you have to go all in with all these big share sizes. But listen, it can be done, and I've drawn up what I consider to be a very realistic plan for any trader who really wants to get in this and do this the right way. Okay, now here's the thing. This is just my personal plan that I drew up, something that works for me, but I think that it's like taking it in a way that I think would give people a much higher chance of success. So listen, I am not a professional financial advisor. Okay, so anything that I show you here, you need to always understand, and I feel like I always have to say this, that look, trading, investing is high risk. It just is. 90% of people lose money doing it. And some people say the numbers are higher than that. Some people say it's like 93%, 95%. But either way, 90% of people roughly lose money when they try to day trade. And I actually wonder how many of these people, if they had just had realistic expectations out the gate, if they had just calmed down from trying to be like the next day trading rock star who was going to be featured on the news and on, everybody's best buddy on Wall Street, like if they had just come in here with a reasonable mentality of saying, you know what, I want to approach this very practically, very rationally, and I want to be able to make just a nice little income for myself, and I want to gradually get there. Like, if you had just done it that way, or if a lot of traders, I think, had just approached it that way, I don't think there would have been a 90% failure rate among the day trading community. Okay? I don't. So I think following a plan like this, that what I'm about to give you, I think would probably increase your chances of success by maybe even 80%. I don't know. I can only go by my own personal experience. And I know that the first time that I got into day trading, I blew my account a couple of times, thinking that I was going to be the next big day trading guy. I was swinging for the fences. Okay. I really believed, I could take this smaller account, the smaller amount of money, and turn it into something big within a matter of weeks. Or, I thought I'd make 100 grand just within a matter of months. And it just wasn't realistic. And I know that once I stepped away from trading and then came back to it and started testing a much more conservative trading strategy, I realized that it is doable. But the expectations just have to be much more realistic. And so this is a plan that I've drawn up, and even on my own again, where I said to you guys a few minutes ago, I said that this is something that should be able to increase your chances of success by like 80%. I feel like ever since doing it like this, I've had a much higher success rate, and I would even say maybe even up to 80%. So this is just for me. Again, I'm not telling you guys this is a plan that you should. No, this is just kind of like a template. This is a template of something that I would do if I started over in an account with only $1,000. And we're going to say that we're starting out in a Capital Markets Elite Group account with $1,000. And so I didn't do anything fancy here. There's no PowerPoint presentation. I pretty much just typed this out on a Word document. So that's what I'm going to share with you right here. So Capital Markets Elite Group, again, they're probably one of the most well-known offshore broker accounts that you can get into, where you don't have to have, the $25,000 to bypass the pattern day trader rule. Okay, so you can get into Capital Markets Elite Group with, let's just say, $1,000. Okay, and that $1,000 actually gives you $4,000 in buying power. You get 4 times buying power with $1,000 in Capital Markets Elite Group. And this is what we're going to shoot for every single day. $50 on day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. And I know there's 5 trading days in a week, but I left out the 5th day because I'm going to say that there's a day that it was a wash. We all have a day sometimes that's a wash, where you just don't make any money. So let's just say it's a break-even day, okay? And you know what? You're going to lose money some days. But here's the thing. With $1,000, with $4,000 buying power in a Capital Market Elite Group account, you can actually make, you can make $100 a day doing that. You make $150 a day. I mean, there are going to be days where you do make $100, $150, maybe even $200. Okay, and there's going to be some days where you'll probably lose $50, lose $100. I mean, this is all going to be a part of your trading strategy. You're going to have to decide on what your stopping point is each day. Like if you lose more than $50, do you stop? But I'm just saying that let's just say on average, at least 4 days out of that week, you're going to make $50. Okay. You're going to make $50. And again, some of these will be 200, some of these will be 100, some of these will be like negative 100. But let's just say it all averages out to where at the end of the week, after all your wins and losses, you made $200. Okay? Now, I know this isn't exciting. This isn't something that you would see one of the big day trading gurus do. They're going to take that $1,000 and by the end of the week, they're going to turn it into $2,000. Okay, but listen, you're not trying to be them. You're trying to be you. You're trying to build a business. Okay? So at the end of that week, first weekend, you will have made $200. So going into week 2, your account size is now $1,200, which gives you $4,800 in buying power. Okay, so after week 2, what are you going to do? You're going to try to make that same 50 bucks. You're going to try to basically have a same, that same $50 a day average. Now, again, some days you'll make 100, some days you'll lose 100, some days you'll make 200. And we'll just say there's a day in there that's break even and it's just a complete wash. But basically, at the end of that week, between all your wins and losses, you're going to have roughly an extra $200. Okay? You're not shooting for the moon, you're not shooting for the fences, okay? You're just trying to make $50 a day, okay? And you're trying to end that week with another $200 so that you can go into week 3 with $1,400. Okay, now I know this is boring. Some of you guys are yawning. Some of you guys are like, man, I don't know if that sounds good, man. Bear with me. Bear with me. You're going to have $1,400 starting in week 3, and that's going to give you $5,600 buying power with Capital Markets Elite Group. You can totally make $75 a day with that kind of buying power. I mean, if you buy a stock for, say there's a stock like a $38 stock. Okay, well, you only need $3,800 to get 100 shares of that. And say that stock is going to crash down to $32 that day. Now, you don't know how far it's going to crash down, but let's just say that there's really bad news on it, and you jump in with 100 shares, you buy it at right at 38, right as it's about to crack through 38, or excuse me, you short it right at $38, and say it drops down to 37. Okay, well, you've already made $100 off of that first 100 shares, but let's say it's teetering around 37. Again, you don't know it's going to go down to 32 that day, so you go ahead and take 50 shares off the table. So you've made a dollar move on the first 50 shares, right? And so you've already locked in $50. Okay, and then say it drops down to 36 and you take off the other 50 shares. Now you made $2 off of the second 50 shares. So you actually made $150 that day. Okay, that's what you can do with $5,600 of buying power with cash. That's just to give you an example. This is why I said these are low numbers. These are low numbers. Some of you guys are going to make $150, $250, but I'm just saying that on average, out of 4 days of the week, you were able to somehow capitalize between wins and losses and everything. You were able to get $300 that week. So at the end of week 3, you make a whopping $300. I know, boring stuff here. It's not a 500% account growth, but check it out. You're going into week 4 now with $1,700. That's $6,800 of buying power. And guess what? We're not going to try to make any more than this. We're going to do the same thing because we need consistency. We need practice. You need to get your mind right with all of this. You need to see yourself every single day making just $75. You need to be content with that. You need to be patient with the process. $75 roughly every single day. And at the end of that week 4, you will have made $300 again. That means that after the first month of trading, you'll be going into the second month of trading with a $2,000 account. You started off with $1,000, and in 1 month, in 30 days, you grew your account 100%. Now, there's not many investors out there that are going to promise you 100% account growth within 1 month. They can't even promise you 100% account growth in 10 years. Okay, so now maybe some of them could, depending on what stocks you're trading. I mean, look, the world of investing is vast and wide, but for you to be able to come in as a beginner trader, this is how you need to think. This is why I said we need to correct our mentality about this. We need to view this from a whole new lens. Okay, if you're serious about getting into day trading and being successful with it, you need to approach it in a different light. You need to stop trying to be the day trading rock star out there. You need to just know that you are in this to win this. Slow and steady wins the race. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And be happy with these small gains. Yeah, these are not impressive numbers. But guess what? You just took $1,000 and in 30 days you turned it into 2. Okay, there's something to be said for somebody who can consistently do that. Okay, so week 5. You now have $8,000 of buying power, and now you're going to start trying to make about $100 a day. Now, sure, yeah, some days you're going to have $300. Some days you're going to lose 100, maybe even lose 200. But at the end of the week, and you'll have a break-even day in there. Like I said, we're just going to count for 4 days, 4 successful days of trading roughly, and you're going to end with roughly $400. Whoop-de-doo. But guess what? That's $400 you made that week off of day trading. And you're going to go into week 6 now with $2,400 with 4 times buying power, giving you almost $10,000, almost $10,000 in buying power. And guess what? You're just going to make $100 again, $100 a day. That's what you're going to shoot for. Some days you'll make more, some days you'll make less. Some days it'll be break even. But at the end of the week, between wins and losses, break even, you should be up another $400, which means in week 7, you're going to be up $2,800. You're going to have over $11,000 in buying power. And now you're going to start trying to make about $125 a day. And you're going to do that day by day. You're going to try to make 500 on the week, and you're going to go into week 8 with $3,300, and you're going to do the same thing. Just $125. I know some of you guys out there are laughing at me. You're saying, man, I got a $3,000 account right now with Capital Markets Elite Group. Man, I make $300 a day. What are you talking about? 125? Yeah. Okay. Well, again, we are talking to beginner traders who are approaching this very reasonably, very rationally. They're not trying to shoot for the fences. They have a long-term goal in play right now. And all you're trying to do as a beginner trader is develop consistency. These numbers are realistic. These are realistic. These are the most realistic numbers we could ever be talking about right now. Okay. And that's what you're going to do. And you're going to try. Now you are ending your second month of day trading, and you're making roughly $500 a week. That's good for a lot of people. I'm talking to the college kid out there who's just trying to make a little extra money. Look, you could go work, bus tables or whatever, work at a restaurant, work at a grocery store. You're not going to make $500 in a week doing that. And you're going to be working like 30 hours a week to make half of this. For you to be able to come into the markets each day and only spend like an hour a day, maybe 2 hours a day. Or this is to the retired person who's looking for something to do and make a little extra income just so that they're not constantly digging into their retirement and using up their 401k. You could go to Walmart. You could be a greeter at Walmart. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. Like if that's what you want to do, like some people they just love being out. They want to be on their feet. They want to keep moving around. I think that's great to do for somebody who's retired, instead of, wasting away in their house all day, they're actually getting out, they're doing something. Maybe they're a people person. They like to see new faces all the time. I mean, there's definitely something to say for that. Okay. I'm not knocking that, but just to put it in perspective, you'd be greeting people for 10 hours just to make $100. Okay. So, if you're making, let's say $10 an hour, you'd be standing on your feet for 10 hours at Walmart just to make what you could make in an hour or two of day trading each morning. Okay. So this is much better. Like we have to reset our way of thinking. This is why it's called the trader's mind. You have to reset your way of looking at all of this. But going into the third month, now you've cleared out 2 months of trading. Going into the third month, you're starting with $3,800. Okay, $3,800, guys. That gives you $22,000, almost $23,000 in buying power. And now you're going to start shooting for $150 days, $600 weeks. Week 10, $4,400, 26 in buying power, 26 grand in buying power. Oh, and by the way, week 9, you may say, wow, how did we jump from 13,000 in buying power all the way up to 22,000? Well, again, with Capital Markets Elite Group, with that offshore broker account, they give you 6 times buying power once you cross the 3,500 threshold. That's why with $3,800, your buying power boosts up to 6 times. 6 times. You're now trading with $22,800. Okay? And so you can totally this is totally doable. $150, are you kidding me, with $22,000 of buying power? And you're going to do that for week 9. And guess what? You're going to do that for week 10. You're going to consistently, every single day between week 9 and week 10, you're not going to shoot for the moon. You're going to just reasonably, respectfully come in here and make $150. And yes, some days you'll have $300-$400 days. Some days you'll lose a couple $100. Okay. But we're going to say at the end of the week, you've respectively made, after wins and losses, roughly $600. Okay. So that's week 10. And then week 11, you're going to start shooting for $200 a day. You're going to have a $5,000 account with $30,000 of buying power. Okay. And you're going to start shooting for $200 a day. Now, again, I know a lot of you guys are like, you're bored out of your mind. You're like 2.5 months into this thing. And you're like, what do you mean? I got $5,000. And I'm only making $200 a day. And some of you guys out there who have been trading for a long time, you can take $5,000 a day and make $500 a day. Okay. But listen, again, we are talking about with a conservative trading strategy, a conservative mindset, a disciplined mindset, someone who's being patient with the process, who's learning the ebbs and flows of the market, and who's basically just trying to build a legitimate day trading business. And guess what? You're up to making $800 a week. You're up to making $800 a week, and you're working a couple hours a day. Okay. So I think anybody should be happy about that. And you're going into week 12 and you're doing the same thing. And so now going into the third month, going into month 4, you've completed 3 months now, and you now have a $6,600 account with almost $40,000 of buying power. Okay. And you're going to make $250 a day, $250 a day, every day, $250 a day. And you're going to try to make a weekly total of $1,000. Again, I have to reiterate this. You're going to have some $500-$600 days, and then you're going to have some $200-$400 losing days, whatever. Break even days, maybe. But at the end of the week, we're roughly shooting for about $1,000. Totally doable with this account size. Totally realistic. Okay. Same thing with week 14. Come in, $250 a day. Week 15, 250 a day. Well, wait a minute. You're saying, hold on, all the other times we're doing 2 weeks of this, and then we boost it up $50. Okay, so why are we doing 250 a day for week 13, 14, 15, and 16? Because we're gonna take a month to where we just give complete consistency, to where we just try to make $1,000 a week for that entire month. We're gonna get it ingrained in us. We're gonna really get used to making this. Before we crank this up another notch, we want to get used to making this kind of money. There's a lot of mental discipline that is acquired in those stages and in the practice of that. And this really helps for when you start increasing to 300, because 300 this just takes it to a whole nother level. 300, when you can say that you're going into the markets every single day with now $10,000 roughly and 63 grand in buying power, and you're able to pull out $300 a day pretty consistently, okay, and have a weekly total of $1,200, this is great. This is great. And you're going to do that for 2 weeks. And then you're going to jump to 400. And you're going to do that for 2 weeks. And mind you, again, this is just a template. This is something I would do. This is not something I'm personally instructing you to do. I'm not guaranteeing that you can have any success with this. Some people just might not be cut out for day trading. I mean, really, you just might not be cut out for day trading. And that's okay. You know what? There's 1,000 other business ideas out there that you could be really good at that can make you a lot of money. And if you keep losing money at day trade, you're just losing money over and over and over and over and over again. And look, hey, maybe sometimes it takes just stepping away from it for a while. That's what I had to do. Okay. And if you step away from it for a while and come back and you just keep losing, well, then you know what? Maybe it's not for you. Just try another business. There's plenty of businesses out there where you can make really good money doing it. Okay. And making really good money doing something that you love. You just have to explore it, but I'm not saying that following this plan, you're going to automatically be doing all of this. No, this is a template. And this is what I'm telling you that I would do if I had a small account. And instead of trying to be, the rock star day trader who can turn, $1,000 into $100,000 in 2 months, like we are on a serious plan here, a real structured business plan. Okay. And so by the time you get to month 6, on something like this, your account size will be about $16,000. I know these aren't impressive numbers. I get it. But you know what? You're making $500 a day roughly. Okay. It's totally doable. Again, if you have educated yourself, and mind you, again, maybe I need to make this much clearer too. This isn't something that is going to be doable for somebody who's just getting into day trading, like literally just getting into day trading. Okay, now you might luck out. You might be that guy that just threw money at the market and accidentally made like $50,000 in 1 week. Okay, like that has happened to a lot of people, but I guarantee you the vast majority of those people that accidentally made $50,000 ended up accidentally losing it the very next week or the very next month. Okay, that story has circulated around far more many times than you may realize. So before even doing any of this, before even starting on week 1, before even getting into trading with real money and thinking that you're going to make $50 a day, I'm speaking to the trader. I'm speaking to the person who has studied, they have educated themselves. You've probably up to this point have spent about a year just studying and educating yourself. Maybe not quite a year, maybe 7, 8 months. You started getting into day trading, and then you spent about 5, 6 months in an actual trading simulator trying to test a strategy. And you make sure that you found a working strategy that can make you $50 a day starting out. Okay. And then once you test that and prove that over and over and over again in a trading simulator, then we fund a Capital Markets Elite Group account and start with that $1,000 and start making the $50 a day. Okay. So there's a lot that goes on before you even get to this. Okay. This is not for anybody who's just, like I said, just getting into day trading like today. Okay, so we are talking to somebody who has educated themselves, somebody who's really put the time and the patience and the discipline into educating themselves and spending considerable amount of time testing a proven strategy in a trading simulator. This is something that is doable for that type of person. Again, there's no guarantee of success, but it's doable. It's not exciting that we've spent 6 months. I know when you watch some of the big day trading gurus out there, they would laugh at you. They'd be like, oh man, I would have taken my $500 and turned that into 16 grand in the first 3 weeks. Okay, yeah, but you know what? I would say back to them, you know what? You've also been trading for like 10, 15, 20 years. Okay. You've been doing this a long time. Plus you have a ton of money. You've got a lot of cushion. If you lose the money, you can just slap some more on the account and just trade it over and over and over again until it finally starts taking off. I mean, like it's a different story. It's a different mentality altogether. Plus a lot of these guys have, they've got trading chat rooms and they've written books that they sell on Amazon. People are paying monthly subscriptions to be a part of their, courses and websites, so they've got multiple streams of income. Okay, there's a whole different mentality again. between them and the average Joe trader. But this to me is exciting. This is exciting that I've been in for 6 months now, and I'm up to $16,200, and I'm making consistently roughly $500 a day. Again, some of these days are going to be $800, $900 days. Some of them I'm going to lose $300-400, but my weekly total is going to be roughly around $2,000. Okay, with a monthly total of roughly $8,000. So month 7, you're coming in with $24,000. Okay, 145 grand in buying power, making roughly $750 a day, roughly $3 grand a week. Monthly total $12 grand. Month 8, you come in with $36,000. You could at this point take some of this money out and go fund a U.S. regulated broker account with like Lightspeed Trader or Interactive Brokers or something like that. But I don't know. Let's just say you keep the Capital Markets Elite Group account, and now you're up to making $800 a day, and so you get used to making $800 a day for the whole month. For the whole month, every single week, you're just making $800 a day, $800 a day, $800 a day for every single week of this entire month. And then month 9, you boost it up to $900. And you do it every single day for every single week of month 9. Okay. And then these are your monthly totals. You make $14,400. And then going into month 10, your account's up $63,400. Okay. Now in month 10, you're getting to the place that somebody like Ross Cameron could probably get the first month in. Okay. Or the first couple months in. But you know what? You're not Ross Cameron. You are you. Okay. And you are trying to build up this account. Slowly, you've got 380 grand in buying power. You're easily able to make roughly about $1,000 a day. Okay. And you do this every single day, every single week in month 10. Okay. Then come month 11, you make $1,200 a day, every single day, every single week in month 11. Don't try to make more. Just try to hit that. I mean, if you make more, you make more, but this is what you're going for. These are the weekly totals you're going for. Then by month 12, you're up to $98,000 in your account with over $500,000 in buying power through Capital Markets Elite Group. And you are trying to consistently hit roughly $1,500 a day, every day of the week, every single week out of the month. Your weekly total is about $6 grand. Your monthly total is going to be about $24 grand. This leaves you with your first year in day trading yearly total of $122,000. You made 6 figures this year, and you have 735 grand in buying power. Okay. Now, this is the part that other people don't talk about. Nobody wants to talk about this little thing we know as taxes. Okay. Taxes. And before I get down to all that, I just want to say taxes with day trading are pretty heavy. I know they're different. It's different depending on where you live around the world and all that stuff. But at least I know for myself where I live here in the United States, you pay roughly 40%. I think it's like 38%, but we just round it to 40%. You pay 40% on capital gains. Okay. And you have to think about that. That has to be part of the mentality. Okay. Because at the end of the year, if you really save all this up in your account, at the end of the year, you're going to have to dip into that account and pay $49,000, okay? Because that is roughly 40% of $122,000. You're going to give Uncle Sam $49,000 of that. Okay? This is realistic though. This is the part I know nobody wants to talk about, but you need to have that. But after you pay taxes, this is what you will have profited. You'll have still an account of $73,560. And then what you're going to do is that'll basically put you back to month 10. Okay, maybe a little better, but maybe more like month 11, 79,000. Yeah, you'll be closer. I mean, you'll be right in between month 10 and month 11, but you can basically start back at month 10 and just try to make $1,000 a day and just start building it up again. And you'll build up another $16,000 your first month into the second year. So you'll immediately start building that up. And then, like I said, you could take maybe 50,000 of this and fund a U.S. regulated broker, and then keep, maybe, 10,000 in your Capital Markets Elite Group account, your offshore broker account, whichever one you decide to go with. But and then you can pay yourself. Then you can pay yourself some of this. So, this right here is realistic. This right here is realistic. This is the number that you can realistically make after fees, commissions, and after taxes, and everything is being paid. If you approach this with a conservative trading strategy and a realistic mindset, and just look at this as you are taking the next year to build your day trading business, and you want to focus on being a consistently profitable trader. I think if you approach it like this is definitely what you can be looking at as your paycheck this time next year. And again, you can't really see this as a paycheck because it's going to be in your account. But you can at least start like I said, making $1,000 a day roughly, and you can start cutting yourself a paycheck. Maybe you leave all this money in your account, and year two is where you really just start cutting a paycheck. Okay, it's realistic. It can be done, and this is something that I think would be a much better trading plan to go with if you were really serious about building a small account. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe, hit that bell notification so you can know anytime that I'm posting a new video. I do live day trading Monday through Friday, usually start around 9 a.m. And I also post daily recap videos. And I'll also be posting more videos just like this. I know this has been a long one, so hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I was able to offer a little bit of perspective for you people out there, all you average Joes, people just like me who we're just aspiring to have a good solid business of day trading, and we want to keep realistic expectations. And we're not necessarily going to be the next day trading rock star. I mean, some of you might, but you need to shake that out of your head. In the meantime, you need to shake that out of your head, and you need to approach it a lot more realistically and a lot more conservatively, because the numbers I just showed you are real numbers. Now it may not happen for you. Again, you just might not be cut out for day trading. Okay. And that's fine. That's fine. But I think that anything in life, if you approach it with realistic expectations, I think your chances of success can always be greater. They can always be greater. You have to stand back. You have to analyze everything and just try to approach it in the best manner possible. Okay, so hopefully this was helpful to you guys. And again, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Trader's Mind episode. Take care.